Good morning. I'm Ken Demers for Psychic Holistic Spotlight. Our guest tonight is our beloved Josie. She's going to talk about strange rocks.
They're not strange. I'm
They're
going to
round.
talk about the healing properties of gemstones.
Okay, and then we have Kathy Medeiros and
Darlene
Darlene
Pelosa.
Pelosa,
Yes.
who
We all use crystals in our practices,
Yes.
they kind of-
even if it's only to channel and keep good energy while we're doing mediumship. You know,
they take pet rocks to the extreme.
oh,
So anyway,
do I talk to them? Yes, I do.
yes, I know you would. We have a large variety of strung out rocks here. And I'm supposing that each one has a different vibration that is useful for particular ailment or imbalance in the body, or how do we know which one is which?
Well, I'm going to give people a quick course, a shortcut that the angels gave to me to knowing your gemstones. And it's based on color therapy. Each of these stones resonates with a vibration, and part of that vibration is its color. One of the things I learned is that from the angels, that dyeing does not affect the stones negatively. It actually enhances their healing abilities in the color range they're dyed to. There are other things like irradiating stones that are not good for the stones. It's not a healthy energy then. But we will go through a simple classification of colors. So based on the chakra system, as we understand it, red stones for the base chakra are almost impossible to find. Most of the red stones you see are dyed. But those stones or shells or coral are dedicated to healing things in the red shade. The red shade has to do with our basic foundation, the substance to sustain our lives, food, clothing, shelter, safety, and being grounded. That's the one most of us forget about, to when we're present, that we're really present, that we're walking on this earth instead of stumbling and bumbling around.
Oh, wait a minute. I like being out there.
Well, I do too.
I just have to interject. I like being out there. It's
So I need some black tourmaline.
yeah.
So the tourmaline, the hematite, the tiger's eye, the tiger's iron, no, those are not the root
Those-
chakra?
They are for the root chakra.
Oh, okay. This is
Those
not
are
the
our
red color.
grounders.
Okay. Yeah, because
Okay.
those are the ones that I need the most.
Yeah.
Because as she said, I like to be up there too, though. So I forget I need to come down. So I need the grounding stuff. So
Yeah, I'm remembering one day I was talking to an Episcopal priest, and he was very open-minded. And I said to him, you don't have any legs, you're just floating. He said, oh yeah, I have that problem.
so he's well aware of his issues.
Yeah, I was doing a little aura check and there were no legs.
Most people
And
thought
he
you were
was a
crazy.
good-sized man, so it was like amazing to be suspended there. The red stone is very beautiful. It is an expression of joy. You can find it in rubies. You can find it in garnets. And they're all different values. Is the ruby better than the garnet? Not really. It's the intention of the user as to how well it would be.
Now, what's the difference between the dyed stones and the irradiating stones that you were mentioning?
And the what stones?
Irradiated.
No.
Those stones are treated with radiation.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's, it's similar to what they do with certain patients. They use radiation. Well, they do it on stones to enhance the intensity of their colors.
But one of
And
the
you
things
wouldn't
that-
want to be wearing an irradiated stone on
because
your body.
It changes the energy of the stone anyway,
Is it
right?
Yeah.
irradiation or heat treated?
No, there's heat treating and irradiation.
Just like they do with
They use
cancer
radiation on
patients.
stones.
Okay, I don't know.
You
the
didn't
name.
know that.
I haven't seen it.
Most smoky quartz is irradiated. I haven't seen anywhere where they weren't irradiated. It's an older one, so maybe it wasn't.
Well, I bought it out of a crystal mine in Arkansas, and
They probably didn't touch it.
I got a
No.
pair of them.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, Josie, one of the things I mentioned is earlier was how I was drawn to first of all, I was drawn to this. So when you're drawn to some of the stones,
Okay.
so tell us a little bit about that.
When you're drawn to a stone, it means you need to have that energy in your life at that moment. Now, we were talking about some of the rose quartzes. I have a lot of them combined with clear quartz because clear quartz amplifies the effect of whatever stone it's with, either on the bracelet itself or a separate band of the clear quartz. I'm also fond of the coated quartz, the aurora borealis, that sparks little lights like
Oh, like the rainbow?
the rainbow, the pastel rainbow of the, northern lights. I find them very attractive. Apparently, what I'm being told now is they cause reflections of colors and things, and they invite you to reflect upon things. So if you're doing rose quartz with the aurora borealis clear quartz, you're going to be looking at your intimacy, sensuality, and loving partnerships, family as well. That that would enhance doing that. Now we don't have a lot of time, and I really want to get everyone a little touch of colors and stuff. Some of the beige tones are also very good for grounding. They're the sand colors,
Okay.
the picture jaspers, and landscape stone, and there are others, grain stone.
So something similar to this, right?
Yeah, that is actually pink opal.
Oh, okay.
It's not the same as the opal you find in little bitty rings,
Okay.
but they have a pink and blue opal.
And would you consider that like a brown? Would you consider that kind of brown?
It's a little brown,
Okay.
yes.
Where does that come from?
I am not sure.
Australia?
I don't know where they come from. I'm not, familiar with that.
So the jaspers, though, they come in a range of colors, correct?
Yes, and they come for, yeah.
So they have a variety of uses for them.
Yeah, the other stone that you just had in your hand was an agate.
This
And
one?
yes, it's
Okay.
another hardworking healing stone. And they call that a red agate, but it doesn't come up to red.
It's out of Mexico, probably. There seem to be a lot of that now, Southwest.
There's a lot of southwestern stones, a lot of stones in the Southwest. But the only stone I can vouch for is Herkimer. Comes from Herkimer, New York.
Well, that's a specialized quartz crystal.
Yes, and true opals, I believe, come from South Africa
Mostly Australia.
and Australia, but South Africa, New Zealand, Australia.
So they really just come from all over the world, including our
Oh, yeah.
own country.
Well, I
Yeah.
noticed that those three that she mentioned, or we mentioned, is out of the southern hemisphere. South Africa, Australia, they're not that far apart.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, at one time all the continents were one. I
Yes.
can't remember the name of it, but so they might have been in the same general neighborhood at one point in time.
And the interesting thing, at least from my understanding, the interesting thing about opals is what sparks all the lights and everything are water molecules, tiny water molecules
Oh, trapped.
in the stone. And it causes the reflections of the stones to sparkle.
Okay. I think most people are interested in the heart chakra or the third eye. So what
Well,
would-
we're getting there.
Okay, I don't know how we have for time, so.
Yeah. Above, when we get up to the third chakra, we have an intellectual chakra. I have very few stones on this selection here. Mostly your stone is creamy quartz, creamy golden quartz, citrine, and the agates. Oh, and crazy lace agate. In the yellow and beige tones, it's a remarkably nice stone to look at. And that stone's healing properties in various colors are to help you look at things from a different perspective. Look outside the box.
Open-minded.
Yeah,
And that's the crazy
lace agate.
lace agate.
I don't think I have any on there, but you can always ask to look at some, and someone will show you it, and you say, oh, yeah, I like that. I only brought a few of my stones.
It's a beautiful selection that you have.
Thank you.
Usually her car is tipped.
Well, I am having problems with one tire holding the air pressure.
Could be a good indication of a lot. So we were just talking about the sacral chakra, right? The intellectual, is that the intellectual chakra?
The,
Oh, the
Yes,
solar
that's-
plexus? Okay.
yeah. The solar plexus
Is the intellectual
is
one.
the
Okay.
intellectual. The next one that can't wait to get at resonates with a green frequency, and it is the heart chakra. Green is the color of healing. It is also the color of Archangel Raphael, who is a healer. And you would say, well, why isn't the heart red? It resonates to the color of green. It also resonates with rose quartz. The heart chakra, where we have many of our issues, frequently needs heavier doses of healing. So the quartz crystal would be recommended. One of the crystals for people that come to you that are hoping to get in touch with a loved one is the moss agate. That one helps people with deep losses.
Grief?
Yes, deep losses and grief. Losing a child. Losing more than one family member at the same time. You know, or family members.
Yeah, even just one can be a big deal. Never mind multiple losses at the same time.
Right, the deep grief that anyone would suffer from if they experienced it.
So that's the rose quartz that will help with that, or is that the moss agate?
The Morse agate
And that,
will help with that. That big one is the Morse agate.
this one right up here.
I don't know if you can get it off.
Yeah, I just, at least if they can see the colors so that it's, that way then they know what moss agate looks like a little bit
Yeah.
outside of asking for it.
So if somebody is experiencing grief and they come to you as a medium through the spiritualist church or whatever, how do you tell them to use the particular stone to help soothe that loss?
It's very simple, it's not complicated. I tell them that that stone would be good for them, for the loss they have, and that they're to just wear it on the wrist, and whenever they put it on or see it on the wrist, they can take it off at night.
Would it be better in a pendant hanging over the heart
It can be done.
or a medicine bag?
It can be done, if they ask me.
But the healing goes where it's needed, so it doesn't matter
Yeah,
how it's put on, as long as you use
So
it.
she get it in your vibration.
Yeah,
There
that's
is
important.
another vibration in green that Archangel Raphael responds to, and that's emerald green aventurine. So it's got the same intensity of color as an emerald, but it's affordable, and Archangel Raphael resonates with it. There isn't any there. I have that outside. But it's an emerald green. I think everybody knows that emerald is a brighter green than the Morse
Now,
agate.
these are kind of natural stones, correct?
Yes.
If you're particularly interested in those colors and you went into the costume jewelry thing, which is perhaps even more affordable than these, I don't know.
If you're just working with color therapy without the stones imparting their energy to it,
Glass is what I was leading up to. I don't know if it's the same
It's
or
not the same energy.
it's not the
different.
same. You'd have to call in an angel and say, could you please imbue this piece of glass with some healing energy? And I've never done it, so I have no idea if they
you're
would
going
or
to call
not.
in an angel, why bother with using a piece of glass?
Because every time you look at it, it reinforces that I am getting healing.
And generally, the stones, when they're put together like this, or if they're raw, they still have those properties. So they're not affordable. They're usually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So,
All the stones I work with, I don't wash the stones. The angels clear the stones completely.
That's when you're working with them, though. So
Yeah.
when the person
When I
already
work
receives
with
it-
them, it's done. If I wash something, it's a rarity. Like if I'm wearing something and I get some cooking grease or something like that on me, then I will wash them. But otherwise, energetically, they're prepared completely by the angels.
so when do you recommend that anyone cleanse them? So one of the things that I know I do with my jewelry is my stones, is that when I'm working with them, is I use depends on what I feel is right or I feel drawn to do, but I put them on a piece of selenite, which will cleanse them.
Yeah, I keep selenite with my cluster of stones.
Right.
Does citrine do the same thing? Citrine?
Citrine is interesting. It does help clear. It also, it isn't the color of the chalk you would think because it's yellow,
Yeah.
but it's also good for the eyes.
Okay.
It's one of the things that isn't color related. So the more you study things, the more you find out more stuff. But for a quick guide, you go with the color related. We're going to march up to the throat chakra. There, the stones would be in the blue family, particularly the turquoise blue family. And the stones, each one of them has their own vibration. You have the soft blues here. I don't know, over here. That's blue lace agate, not crazy lace, just blue lace agate. It's very pale, soft blue, and that helps soften your communication.
It helps what?
Soften your communication.
Yeah, that's when you're
not to be
harsh, the
rough and
words.
harsh. And the turquoise like this puts power.
Okay, so you can voice more.
Yes, it puts power in your speech, that you can talk to people above you and be listened to, not, you
It
know.
also helps you speak up though too, though, when you have a hard
Yes.
time though.
Yeah, and these, the blue over here is an agate, does help you to speak up. There's one that I don't have here, Amazonite, in the flower variation. It's not the light blue-green, it's got some yellows and whites and the blue-green. That helps. I don't want to use the word soften, because it's more than soften. I gave a gift to one board, church board.
A board member, okay.
Yes, I won't say where or whatever, but I gave a gift of 6 necklaces because they were always finding things to disagree about. They don't say any more.
So it helps increase
that could be almost
communication
any
and
church that I know of.
But, and I suggested that they wear it every time there was a board meeting.
So it helps though with the communication, the interaction of communication.
Yes, it helps eliminate, you know, I also, I was told by this person, I told him that it softens the communication and it's more, and there's more listening. That's very important with the Amazonite. People are listening to each other. And he told me after a while, he said, well, I'm giving it to my wife. So I thought, well, I hope he listens. And he told me it really worked.
Okay, good.
So I was, so I figured he got the message too.
So the intent was there, yeah.
What about the pineal gland? The one that's
Pineal?
the
Oh,
psychic
that's-
stuff?
Well, we're
good
coming up that way.
No, I thought we were there.
No, not yet. Turquoise, now we're coming to,
The third eye.
you can also use lapis, which is, for the blue, which is talking to people who are above you. And
Does that mean like the superiors, like supervisors?
supervisors and stuff
Vice
like that.
presidents.
That finding ways to get your point across with higher ups.
Okay.
And the next one is in the purples. So you have, and that's opening your third eye to see things from a greater perspective. One of the things very few of us are able to do is see the big picture. We get, in our human bodies, we just get stuck in this little picture. We don't have the ability to soar like a hawk or an eagle and look and see, oh, there's the Army coming. They're going to solve this problem. Oh, look, the Corps of Engineers is working over there to stop this flood. You know, they can't see that. They only say, oh my God, we've got a flood. Using purples and the violet purples. There's a couple of them here. Helps you see a bigger, more accurate picture of the last one is the clear quartz crystal, and that has to do with connecting with all of the spirit world. The angels, the ascended masters, our loved ones, the divine spirit in him or herself, and all those who you know are guiding you, or all those you hope are guiding you. You just have to invite them.
Ask.
Yeah.
You have to ask.
I think of it as inviting them. Please come and assist me.
Okay, so is it just the clear crystals for the crown chakra?
Well, if you go into it historically, all the crowns in Europe, the king's crowns, they would have diamonds or stuff, and they protruded through the crown so that they were in contact with the skin. So they had a lot of connectivity to the crystals of the gems.
Yeah, the crystals, crystals have energy. They're used in, crystal displays. They're used in energy types of devices. They've been proven that they have energies.
Yeah, like the clear crystals are for the Timex watches.
Yeah.
I know one of the times I've done our photography, you take a picture without doing anything, and then you hold a piece of crystal. Could be amethyst, could be rose quartz, could be whatever. And then the picture, you take a picture after that, and your whole aura tends to turn into that color.
Yeah.
That's
'cause
cool.
the energy.
Yeah.
What I'd like to say is there are many ways to use these. You can have a simple bracelet, just so long as it's a genuine stone. They don't have to cost more than $5, or
Which is even like a little
or
piece.
maybe
that's not-
20.
yeah.
And you can get the raw stones, celestite, selenite, rose quartz. I'm trying to think. I love the tourmalines because they deal with the base chakra and then all the upper chakras when you get the mixed tourmalines. And the other one that I love, it's a soft stone, so it does break, are the fluorites, that they affect the eyes and the throat.
Josie, do you sell these bracelets?
I do sell them, but I sell them at psychic fairs. So go to psychic fairs and see what's up there, what's there.
So we
And
can't call you to buy a bracelet off you directly?
I don't do that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't do that. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to speak for the stones because most people don't understand them.
So
And
how
they
would-
want homes.
So how do we find out though what psychic fairs you're working at though, so we can buy these off of you at a fair?
Well, look at the spiritualist churches in Rhode Island and Mass, and
Okay.
and I'll be at some of them.
Okay.
Okay.
When's the next one coming up? Next fair?
I just requested to sell something in February 3rd.
Where?
The First Spiritualist Church of Rhode Island.
The one on Rose Street
Yes.
in East Providence?
That's the only one right now in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only one in Rhode Island.
Okay, we have 30 seconds. So what do you want to say? Quickly.
There is a lot more to stones than you think. They're not just pretty little rocks. They are healers. And whether you wear it or you keep it on your night table so that you have it there every night, or you put one under your bed, I've heard that quartz crystals are too
Good night,
stimulating.
everybody. We just left.
Good night.